Hey guys, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, and I'm back talking about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 3, Mining the Mines, which is quite hard to say, so I think that deserves a like at least. So another week, another Lower Decks episode. I know not everyone was a huge fan of last week's one, and yeah, this week's is, I have to say, a little bit better, at least for me. I certainly enjoyed it more than maybe the first two that we've seen this season. But overall, I don't know, there's something about this season of Lower Decks that seems to be missing for me. I'm going to get to that later on in the video. But this episode did have a lot of really sort of interesting Easter eggs and deep cuts with like old characters and things coming back. I'm not going to talk about it too much here, I'll get into the video in a minute. But it's a sort of weird high school setup with the crew are paired with another California class ship's crew, and there's a sort of awkwardness between them that they need to figure out. The B story on this one is all about Tendi and her officer training program back on the ship, and it's not great. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is going to be the spoiler part. So I thought this episode had a great opening, very ominous music with the green orb. And it's a Federation scientist who encounters, as you would, his old high school teacher out in the middle of space on this planet before he gets turned to stone. So fantasies are coming to life and they're not being as fun as you might think. But the crew know what's going on. They're sent to the planet that's called Genghis 4 to deal with the Scribbles, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, that are turning people into statues using these psychic minds. And as I mentioned a minute ago, the crew is paired with another California class ship, the USS Carlsberg, and some of their crew are paired with the Lower Decks gang to go down to the planet and dispose of these psychic minds. So everyone apart from Tendi goes down because she's doing her officer training thing, and instantly once Mariner, Boimler and Rutherford land on the planet, it seems that they're sort of well known among the California class ships in Starfleet. They've got a bit of a reputation. And of course, being Lower Decks, they get the grunt work of removing the psychic minds. But before they can sort of deal with the situation, Rutherford triggers one, and it leads them to see Leah Brahms herself all the way back from the Next Generation. And yeah, this is a deep old cut, and I was really happy about this, although I did think it was kind of weird that someone would still be fantasising about Leah Brahms 30 or 40 years after she was sort of like, you know, the young sexy scientist. But anyway man, each to their own, there's no judgment here. But yeah, she does seem to be considered a sex symbol amongst Starfleet, and I thought it was fun just seeing the character wearing the same outfit that she wore from the Next Generation as well. But what did you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. But Mariner isn't initially happy about how the other crew are treating them. Too into it, they keep getting distracted by their own fantasies, which of course gives us a little glimpse of their minds and what they're into. And to say, yeah, it's very interesting. We get admirals offering promotions to fight the Borg, Andorian threesomes, and then before it gets out of hand, their nightmares start to come true. And we see Klingon clowns, werewolf Andorians, and Borg snakes. And I loved all of this, and I wish the episode had just focused a little bit more on this story and not the Tendi one. It would have been far more interesting for me, because all the stuff that was on the planet was sort of what I would come to expect for Lower Decks, all comedy, all tongue-in-cheek, a little bit adult, but not really too bad. Whereas the Tendi stuff just sort of felt like it was dragging a little bit, that it wasn't really going anywhere, and I don't think it really developed the character that much either. So to get away from all their nightmares, they end up trapped in a cave, but it isn't just a normal cave, it's a literal data mine. The Federation scientists that have been sent to the planet have been working with the locals to collect people's thoughts. So do you get it? It's a literal data mine. But all this leads to them finding out that the Carlsberg crew actually think that Cerrito gang are the cool kids and not the sort of idiot screw-ups that everyone thinks they are. So that was a good little twist. But yeah, the Tendi story. So she's doing her officer training program and she's assigned to the ship's psychiatrist initially before she gets put with shadowing with the captain, who's dealing with the Federation scientists and these native scribbles. And yeah, like, again, this story didn't do anything for me. The twist is that the locals and the scientists are trying to get a psychic spy device on board a Federation ship, but by the time that was revealed, I so didn't care about this story because most of it is Captain Freeman arguing with another Starfleet captain, and she's a little bit insecure because he's a lot younger than her, and I was like, we've not had any set up for this that she's insecure about stuff like that. So again, it didn't work and it fell a bit flat. It certainly wasn't terrible, but I just didn't know where it was going to go. Yeah, while this week was more fun than last week's, again with the B story with Tendi, I wish they'd done a lot more with that and maybe tried to tie it in with the A story with the guys on the planet. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems that there's not as much love and effort poured into this season of Lower Decks as there has been the first two. Again, a lot of people said that last week's episode was pretty flat and boring, and I've got to agree. This week's was better, but it still didn't have the sort of pace and the bang and the go that Lower Decks has had before. So I'm not saying that, I'm not going to be sensational and say, oh my god, this show is over, it should be cancelled, it's jumped the shark. That's not the case. Shows have ups and shows have downs, and we're just lucky that we've had 2 seasons of pretty much steady highs with Lower Decks before we're getting into these sort of ebbs here. But hey, I'm sure it will pick back up. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think of this episode in the comments below. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at The Geeks Reviews. And if you've made it this far, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. It's just one small click for you. But every click helps me build the following that I've got here. And leave a like on the video as well. I'm going to have more videos coming, more House of the Dragons chat, and I might do one of the Rings of Power, but man, the social blowback on that is just maybe too much hassle. But if you'd like to see that, let me know as well. As always, I'm Al, thanks for watching.